Hi everyone, Bandanner here. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to this week's WARNO devlog. This week covering the 5th Division to come with Southag, the 6E for the French, or the 6th Light Armoured Division. Let's have a little look at its history. So it was first formed back in World War I as a cavalry division by the sounds of it, and the same in World War II. It was then reorganised after the war, becoming the 6E Division Blindée, which was until the 1980s stationed in Compiègne and then Strasbourg. In 1984, the formation was reorganised into its current state. Now it was one of the most famous French late Cold War divisions, together with the 11th or the 11E Division parachutists, for two main reasons. It was the armoured fist of the Forces d'Action Rapide, or FAR, France's counter-operational manoeuvre battle group, and it made headlines in 1991 during the Gulf War, forming the core of the makeshift Division Légère. Oh, there we go, we've got some shots of that in action by the looks of it. Although the Fast Armoured Division didn't see any action during the Cold War, its contribution during the Gulf War garnered much renown, covering the extreme left flank of the coalition army under the command of the American 18th Airborne Corps, is that? Yes, 18th Airborne Corps, during Desert Storm. It attacked over 150 kilometers in 48 hours. Excelling in its envisioned fast-moving role, it crushed the Iraqi 45th Mechanized Infantry Division before continuing to advance north. During the conflict, the 6th Light Division commanded over 17,000 men, 4.5 thousand being American. The first time this happened since World War II. And there we actually can see Operation Desert Storm. I don't know where this image is from, but all credit to wherever Eugene have stolen it from. As you can see there, there's lots of divisions that look familiar to me. Maybe Eugene made it themselves. You see the British down there with the American armoured divisions pushing up. Yeah. Anyhow, so a little bit more detail. Although an armoured division, the 6th concept, as the name implied, meant that they had an even lighter TONE than the regular armoured divisions in the French army, such as the 5E. The 12E and the 14E Division Blindée Légère were Division École, school divisions, meaning they were neither active nor mobilization divisions. These formations only existed on paper in peacetime, but in the case of war, they would have quickly filled their ranks with on-duty cadre and instructors. These light divisions were intended to spearhead the 1st Corps in West Germany. They traded one of their 2 AMX-30 tank regiments for a regiment de reconnaissance, which was equipped instead with the AMX-10RC, go figure. Meanwhile, the 2 infantry regiments didn't use the AMX-10P, but rather deployed in VABs or softskins. This would have given these divisions less firepower than an armoured formation, but unmatched mobility. There's another good shot of them down there in some snow. But what about the 6th? Well, it had special and even lighter TONE compared to the other 2 divisions. Being the sole armoured formation in the FAR, it was intended to be deployed on very short notice anywhere in the world, hence it forming the core of the French troops sent to participate in the Gulf War. As a mobile spearhead, it would work in tandem with the anti-tank Gazelle helicopters of the 4E Division. In order to perform this high-intensity, quick-moving shoot-and-scoot warfare, the division followed only one rule: no tracked vehicles allowed. Everything in the 6th was wheeled, hence the lighter TONE. Both divisional tank regiments were reconnaissance regiments, and both infantry regiments VAB fielding. Meanwhile, all the AA and artillery units were towed. That's just one aspect of the formation's uniqueness, the other being it commands over most of the Legion Étrangers regiments, more than any other French division. These regiments make up half of the division. The first, or the 1ER Rec, or Regiment Étranger de Cavaliers, the AMX-10RCs, the 2 REI, or Regiment Étranger de Infantry, and that's VAB infantry, and the 6E Reg, which have VAB engineers. I mean, I assume this is the French Foreign Legion to the rest of us. I'm guessing. Please correct me if I'm wrong. These Legion units will have specifically recorded dialogue and acknowledgements performed by German, Polish, British, Spanish, Czechs, and Italian voice actors speaking French with their own accent, and some appropriate, colourful, nation-appropriate swearing. Yeah, so it's a French Legion, yeah? Or the French Foreign Legion. So, what will it look like in the game? Well, logistics is an average category. Command units available to the French division include the P4PC, the VAB PC, and the Gazelle PC helicopter. Supply units feature are going to be the FOB under the name of the Depot Demunition or Depot Demunition, medium Berliet GBU-15 logistics, and a heavy TRM 10,000 logistics supply trucks, plus a Puma Kangaroo. Then in the infantry tab, pretty good for an armoured division. Many units can also be found in the 5E Division Blindée, but the 6th with only half the availability. These include the Gren Voltigeurs in the same role, as well as the Groupie Antichar Privoté Escorte PC, Milan 2 ANF1, plus the M2HB machine gun teams. And the new crap squads. Yes, this is a French acronym for Commando de Recherche d'Action dans la Profondeur. Crap squads. Anyhow, since no one in France had mastered English at the end of the Cold War, fact they say, we will have to wait until the early 1990s for an American officer to nicely and politely explain that this name wasn't one of the best ideas for the French army. The name was changed soon afterwards, but this airborne commando squad valiantly went into World War III combat under this glorious title. The unit features 10 soldiers armed with the FAMAS, the AA-52, the FR-F1, and the LRAC F1 recoilless rifle, and comes with the airborne trait. I can see all of the memes and jokes now about the crap French units. Next up, you have the Legion Infantry. All of these units, men and machines, come at +1 veterancy compared to the non-Legion counterparts, though no free veterancy, and are available at veterancy 3 despite not being special forces and with the Resolute trait. So they will get the Command Legion, a 4-man command squad with FAMAS and smoke grenades, the Legionnaires and the Legionnaires A Pilas, which are organised and armed along the same lines as their non-Legion counterparts, the Command Legion Sapeurs, an 8-man command squad with FAMAS only, the Legion Sapeurs and Legion Sapeurs Flamme, like their non-Legion counterparts, but obviously replace the vintage weapons with FAMAS, Legion Milan 2 and Legion ANF1 weapons teams. All of the above units come in either the P4 Jeeps or the Berliet GBU-15 softskins or VAB APC, sometimes equipped with Milan 80 GMs. The Legion has its own distinct set of vehicles. Okay. Look at all those fancy hats. Okay. Artillery is rather average for the 6th, but with the armoured division not having any tracked vehicles, so there are no self-propelled guns. The battle group relies on the M120 RT61 120mm mortars, both in regular and Legion variants. The only self-propelled artillery unit is the VAB PM81 81mm mortar, once again in the regular and Legion variant. The divisional big guns, though towed, come in the form of the ultra-modern, or the then ultra-modern, TRF 155mm, which was introduced in 1989. While lacking armour and mobility, this artillery makes up for it in range and rate of fire. Okay. After the Cold War ended, a designer at GIAT Industry will have the bright idea to mate the TRF-1 with its standard towing vehicle, the TRM 10,000 truck, from which will be born in Blessed Union the Caesar self-propelled gun, not to be featured in WARNO, mind you. Okay, tank tab. A good category, though perhaps not as hard-hitting as some of the other armoured divisions in WARNO. The 6th Tank Force was small, and part of its armour was used for recon duty. No AMX-30s here, but you do get to play with the AMX-10 RC PC, the AMX-10 RC Spaffis, plus the AMX-10 RC SB Legion in a tank role. Tank destroyers include the P4 Milan, the VAB Mephisto, both in regular and Legion flavours, so lots of Legion stuff here. Then in Recon, it's good as can be expected from a division built around 2 reconnaissance regiments. We hope you like the AMX-10RC because there is plenty more. The standard AMX-10RC as well as the new AMX-10RC Legion. They will also get... Oh, they retired the AMLs, instead of relying on the VBL Rico and the VBL Milan armoured cars as well as the VAB Rasset radar Recon. Okay. Infantry scouts include the Éclairs and the new Legion Éclairs counterparts. The new Dinops are an engineer scout squad from the 6th REG, hence Legion, specialised in underwater reconnaissance. In WARNO, they are a 4-man recon squad armed with the MP5A3 satchel charges and smoke grenades, carrying the shock and airborne trait. Interesting. And then there are aerial reconnaissance comes from the new CL-89 fast drone, which is basically a recon missile, plus the SA-330B Puma Orcaidi radar helicopter. Not technically part of the division. The lone prototype of this helicopter, as well as another less successful prototype variant, was attached to it during the real-life Operation Daguerre. The 2 prototypes are represented in WARNO by a single card of 2 Orcaidi helos. Anti-air is average, with the division in real life relying entirely, and uniquely so, on towed and truck-borne 20mm guns and Mistrals, all in regular and Legion variants. The battle group can also count on the Gazelle Celtic, which historically were first deployed in support during the Gulf War. We have also decided to bolster this category a bit by attaching some Cryotail in an unusual frontline role. They were Army de l'Air anti-air defense assets intended to be used on air bases. This is also what happened during Operation Daguerre. Okay, so they have precedence for it. Helicopter tab, average but a few cheap slots, with the division drilling extensively in close cooperation with the 4E Division Aeromobile, especially its anti-tank helicopters, lacking resilience in direct combat because its tanks were to spot targets and launch hit-and-run attacks, while the Gazelles cleaned up from above when things got too hot. They will get the Gazelle Cannon, the Gazelle Hot, and the Gazelle Hot 2. Air tab will be good, with most of the support provided by the Mirage 2000C RDI. For ground pounding, a wide array of Jaguar fighter bombers with cluster HE and napalm payloads are available, plus 2 new variants, a Rocket 2 with 100mm TB rockets, and the LGB version with 2 BGL 400 laser-guided bombs. Interesting stuff. The 6 is extremely flexible on the battlefield, with no noticeable drawbacks or strengths. While not at its best used in frontal combat, the battle group is great at outflanking its opponents using superior mobility and retiring again before the enemy can mount a solid defense or counterattack. Yeah, Mad Max image there. They have a little message here about the freezing issue. So they're aware of the freezing issue. They have been for some time. They are struggling to tie down the cores. So if you have been able to replicate it, let them know on Discord, or let them know via the email, the support email, which again is available on their Discord. They have tried to reproduce this many times in many different ways. The strike team is trying to help them as well, but obviously it's very hard to pin this down, and we know that Nvidia have had issues with their drivers recently as well. So it's a mixture of both things, I think. So anything that is reproducible, do let them know. If there's a specific thing, a specific instance where it happens over and over, tell them, because then they might be able to reproduce it themselves and see exactly what is causing it. They are saying update your drivers if you're having the issue as well, to the latest update, because they have just released new drivers as well. But on your head be that, of course. And that's everything for this week. Until next week, when they will be back with another Southag preview. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you all soon.